See, I've made videos like animation based off my book. I've made mood boards describing my books and ads. And how much, I mean, so let me ask you this. You're making these mood boards, you're making these things, but do you really have a good idea of who your book buyer or your book reader is? Because all of those things sound great, but they have to be specifically made for the person who is reading your book. So look, y'all, let me share 3 steps with y'all, okay? We're going to talk about the clarity phase, and the clarity phase will help y'all all around, okay? The clarity phase. This is one of the things that most authors don't think about until after they have the book out. And this is for anyone who doesn't have a book out. You can avoid this mistake. And for anyone who does have books out, don't worry, because you can go back and revamp, okay? So the first thing is called the clarity phase. I want y'all to drop clarity in the comments, okay? I need about 5 people to drop the word clarity in the comments, and I need y'all to continue to come up in here and get y'all daily heart me's, okay? Everybody ain't came up in here and got their daily heart me's, and I can see who hasn't. I don't call people out, but I need y'all to engage. If y'all want this information, the only thing I'm asking y'all to do is engage with me, okay? And tap that screen. Continue to tap that screen, okay? So here we go. The first step in the clarity phase. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. So the first phase in the clarity phase is knowing who your book is for. That's your audience, okay? Knowing who your book is for. Some people take that at face value and they're like, oh, my book is for children between the ages of 3 and 5. You know, and that's it. No, you got to really take a deep dive. So the first thing that individuals need to understand is that when you publish a book, you started a business. If you are not willing to grow a business mindset, then you should not publish a book. Unless you're only publishing it for, you know, just personal reasons, and you like, I don't care if I sell 1 copy as long as I have my physical book. If you are publishing for those type of reasons, then listen, you can disregard everything I'm saying. But if you are publishing a book and you really want to see how impactful this book can be and how many hands you can get this book into, then you need to understand that when you are publishing a book, you have started a business. That's the first thing you need to understand. So everything needs to be about business. So you have to understand how to balance and compartmentalize. You have to be the creative, you have to be the author, and you have to be the business person. Most people live in the creative space that publish books. They live in the creative space or whatever space that inspired them to publish the book, but they never develop the business mindset. And that is why a lot of authors don't do as great as they could, or their books don't do as well as they could. You must understand that you have a product. Any successful business owner who has scaled a business from 0 to 6 figures understands that they're always revamping and analyzing data. Okay, they didn't quit and get discouraged because they didn't sell no product. You can't get upset because you ain't sold no books yet and your book been out for 3 months. You can't quit because you only sold 10 books but you wanted to sell 1,000 books by now. No, you analyze the data and see what the data is saying. Okay, you see and that data can be likes, that data can be follows, that data can be comments, that data. Sometimes you got to go out and get the data yourself and ask people questions about your book. Sometimes you're gonna have to give the book away so you can get feedback. All of these things, okay? All of these things, and everybody's journey and experience is going to be different, but you have to be open to all of these things if you want to be as successful as you want to be. And everybody's measure of success is different. You have some people who don't care about book sales. They don't. They're like, listen, I don't care how many books I sell as long as if 1 person a month gets my book, that's impact, because that book is going to change their lives. And then you have some individuals who are like, my goal is to sell a certain amount of books a month or a certain amount of books a year. Okay, you have to treat your books like a business. If you are not ready to treat your books like a business, then just be grateful and just be happy with publishing a book. Just be proud that you have this book. But if you really want to make impact and get your book out here and gain exposure, you're gonna have to treat it like a business. And if you are not ready to treat your book like a business, then you're probably not ready to be the author that you thought you wanted to be. Point blank, period. I'm not pulling no punches. I'm telling y'all the truth. Now, is all of this doable? Absolutely. So that means if your mindset was not there, you just got to get there. That's all. You just got to get there. You just got to get there. Okay? You just got to get there. Some of you can't be blamed for not knowing what you don't know. But now you know because you're learning from one of the top book publishing authorities in this industry. Hey, Kimani. Good morning. Shout out to Kimani. Noted by Kimani. only is she my moderator, but she is one of my mentees, okay? She enrolled in my 6-week one-on-one coaching program, and now not only is Kimani a best-selling author, she has 6 books published. She's running her own publishing agency services where she's not only editing, but she's ghostwriting and she's publishing books for other individuals, okay? So one of the things that I really pride myself on is teaching people everything that I know. If you're going to pay me, if you're going to invest in my program, the least I can do is teach you everything that I know so that eventually you can duplicate it and achieve the success that I've achieved or beyond, okay? I have students that have surpassed me in book sales and everything, okay? But they took what I knew, and I'm proud of that. I'm glad to say that. They took the foundation, they took the seeds that I planted, and boom, they turned it into something amazing, okay? And Kimani is one of those individuals. And Kimani still is working the job that she loves, and I'm assuming she's going to continue to publish books until book publishing and writing and editing can be her full-time job, okay? Oh, that's dope. I want to ghostwrite one day. You should. Ghostwriting, listen, that is where I would say about 20% of my income comes from ghostwriting. It's good money. It's good money. It's good money. It's good money. You'll be surprised what people will hire you for, okay? People pay for processes, you guys. People pay for processes and people pay for convenience. People pay for processes, they pay for information, and they pay for convenience, all right? So what I was saying, here's the first thing you need to do is know your audience, okay? You need to know who you're writing for. If you do not know, and this is the first step in the clarity phase. For anybody that's new, we're talking about the clarity phase. This is the phase right here that is going to set the foundation and is going to set you up for being successful in this book publishing realm, okay? The first thing you need to know is who are you writing for? Most of the time when we're a creative, we are just writing from a place of passion or creativity or hurt, right? We're writing from a place of emotion, okay? And so because books do 3 things: they educate, entertain, and inspire. So we write from one of those places, right? We're either writing to educate, entertain, or inspire, whether it's somebody else or ourselves. I'll say that again. We're writing to educate, entertain, or inspire, whether it's ourselves or somebody else, right? But so most people don't think, dang, who am I writing? But who is going to read this book? Who am I actually writing this book for that's going to buy it? What is their age? What is their gender? What is their race? What is their religion? What is their income status? Where do they live? The more of an idea that you have about your book reader, the better you're able to market to that person. A lot of you all, there's 8 billion people in this world, and you literally trying to market to all 8 billion because you don't have a good idea of who your book buyer is. And that is why you're not selling as many books as you possibly could. And that's why you're not getting the opportunities that could go along with your book, because you have no idea who your audience is. So you just sitting over here listening, you literally throwing Hail Marys all day. You throwing Hail Marys all day, hoping, boom, that somebody catch it. You throwing up these little alley-oops, hoping somebody, you know what I mean? And you cannot do that. You have to have a good idea of who your audience is. So that way, if you have a good idea of who your audience is, you can continue to learn how to market to them. And then you'll see those book sales start to increase. Okay, so that's the first thing, audience. Knowing who your audience is. Now, in the beginning, you don't know who your audience is because you ain't sold no books, right? So it's like, Rian, how do I find my audience if I'm a new author and I ain't sold no books? Baby, you got to do what we call market research. We can't be lazy, okay? Being an author is not a lazy man's game. It can be very profitable, but it ain't a lazy man's game in the beginning, okay? In the beginning, you're going to have to put the work in. I promise you, though, you put the work in the beginning, and that thing going to start being a well-oiled wheel, and you're going to start earning what we call sleep coins. But in the beginning, you got to put that work in. You cannot be lazy. And so the way you are going to find your targeted audience is by doing market research. Ren, how do I do market research? What does market research entail? You are going to look for books that are similar to yours, whether it be in topic, genre, subject matter, whatever. And you're going to get as much information from those books, and you're going to draw a hypothesis from those books about your book. All right. I know I'm saying a lot, but I already told y'all to grab a notebook, and I already told y'all to screen record this, okay? Because I know ain't nobody ever told y'all this before. I know. There's not a lot of individuals like me on here who are sharing this type of information. Most of you all are learning by trial and error, okay? I want y'all to try to avoid some of these pain points so y'all can get to the finish line, all right? And then to the ones who have already published books, I want you to learn this so that you can continue, you can grow your business, okay? You can scale it, all right? So again, in order to do market research, when you're not selling books and when you haven't sold a book, you research books that are similar to yours, okay? Now, look, you can do as much deep diving. I am the type of person, I will research everything down to the tiniest molecule to be like, okay, cool. Now that I have this information, now I can draw a hypothesis. For anyone that does not know what a hypothesis is, that's an educated guess. In the beginning, you're creating an educated guess of what your book buyer and what your book reader looks like if you have not sold any books, okay? That's how you do your market research, all right? Listen, you got the internet, you got Google, you got Amazon, you got the library, do some market research. Once you gathered enough data, then you can say, okay, well, I believe my book buyer is this person or my book reader is this person. They're between the ages of this and this. They'll buy my book for these reasons, A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. So that way you can start marketing towards that person. How do you market towards that person? You call them out. You say, hey, if you're a woman between the ages of 35 and 40 who was once married to a narcissist and is now divorced, but you're having a hard time healing and trusting, then this is what this book is for. I wrote a book, and in this book, it's going to teach you 7 steps to heal from after being married to a narcissist so that you can believe in love again. That is how you market. I know who I'm marketing to. I know who I'm talking to. I know the gender. I know the age range. I know their pain points. I know what they've been through. And I've given them a solution. This is what my book, the problem that my book is going to help solve for you is this. And I'm going to do it by breaking it down in 7 steps. Do you see how I did that? That is the formula for marketing. That is you knowing who your audience is. Okay? And you use that same formula, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, cookbook, word search, crossword puzzle, magazine, graphic novel, thriller, romance, fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever else genres and tropes we got up in there, okay? So that's the first thing in the clarity phase, knowing your audience. Y'all here with me? Are y'all here with me? Let me know. Tap that screen. Y'all with me? I hope that this is information that is valuable to you all, okay? Some of you all already have published your first book, so use this for the second book. Now, the second step in the clarity phase is your message. Okay, a lot of y'all don't know how to market because you don't know what your message is. You market the message. Whatever the message is in your book, that's what you market, because that's all your reader care about is what they gonna get out of your book. They don't care about you yet. You're not their favorite author yet. They will eventually care about you if you get them to buy into you and who you are, but they don't care about you yet. You're a new author. They don't care about you. They care about the product that you created, okay? And what it's gonna do for them. That is called the message. You must know what your book is going to do for your reader. If you can't tell me what your book is going to do for your reader, then you are not going to be able to market your book as well as you could to reach your reader, okay? I'd like information on your writing class. So my class is not a writing class. It is a self-publishing mentorship program. Okay. So I don't necessarily teach people how to write. All right. I educate you on how to self-publish professionally. And I, teach you how to turn that skill set into a business for yourself. Okay. So if you want to learn the ins and outs of self-publishing as a whole and the book business, and you want to, and my program does not just teach you how to self-publish a book, it teaches you how to self-publish all books. So even if you have that children's book idea, I teach you how to publish children's books, journals, thriller. Like, I teach the whole shebang. Most book publishing coaches stick to one thing and one thing only. In my program, you're going to learn everything. Okay. Now, will we go over writing strategies to help you write? Yes. But my program is not a writing class. Okay. Or a writing mentorship type of program. My name is Ren Lowe. You can buy my books wherever books are sold. Okay. And if they don't have them on the shelf, you can request them. Okay. So my name is Ren, R-E-N, last name Lowe, L-O-W-E. If you Google my name, you should see my books. If you put them in Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, you go to Target, Walmart, Books a Millions, you should be able to find my books, love. Thank you so much, Judy, for asking that question. Hi, Nadea. Hi, Apollonia. How are you? Okay, so the second phase in the clarity phase is the message, okay? You market your message. Okay, your message is you need to know what your book is going to do for your reader. Is your book going to, you're welcome, love. Is your book going to teach a child how to count to 10? Is your book going to teach a kid how to tie their shoes? Is your book going to, again, teach, divorced women between the ages of 35 and 40 how to heal after being married to a narcissist? Is your book going to teach somebody a new skill set? You need to know what someone is going to get out of your book, because that is the message that you market. Because what your book is, it's a product. And why do we buy anything? Why do we buy anything that we have to pay for, even though some stuff we shouldn't have to pay for, like healthcare? But that's a whole nother thing. Okay. Why do we buy anything that we pay for? Because of what it's gonna do for us. We buy things simply, even if we need it. We buy it out of even if it's not a want, even if it's not a luxury, even if it's a necessity. We pay for it because what it's gonna do for us. We pay the rent, we pay the mortgage. Why? Because it puts a roof over our head. It gives us a safe place, a warm place to sleep. Okay. Why do we buy water? Because our body needs it to quench our thirst, right? Why do we, buy the clothes? We buy the clothes because it makes us feel good. It makes us look good. It serves a purpose. Your book ain't no different. Your book is no different. So when you can understand the message of your own book, that's when you can market it. Does that make sense? Okay. And I'm just going to be real frank and real honest with y'all. I know some of y'all don't like social media. I was one of those people. I didn't like social media. Social media isn't my thing. Well, guess what? Just like social media is not going anywhere, even though people didn't think that these apps were going to last and things of that nature, social media is the new marketing. Social media is the new commercial. You know how we used to get commercials and we used to get all that junk mail and we used to get the papers and all that stuff? Social media is the new junk mail. Social media is the new marketing. It's the new infomercial. It's the new commercial. So you're going to have to get comfortable with social media, or you're going to have to get somebody that's comfortable enough with social media to market for you. Okay. That's called influencer marketing. So here's the thing. Think of it like this. And I want y'all to change our mindset with this. This should help change our mindset and embrace a new idea. You should be doing whatever the Fortune 500 companies are doing. Guess who on the TikTok shop? Harper's and Collins. Guess who on the TikTok shop? Hatchet, Book Group. If they're doing it, you should be doing it too. All of these major big box retail stores and brands, even the luxury brands, they're on social media. They have influencers who are wearing their clothes, their fragrances, creating videos. Why? Because it is their new commercial. So if they doing it, what makes you think that you don't have to do it, or that you don't need to lean into it? When you have a product. Or the other thing, or the next thing you're going to have to do is get out here in these streets. You can't be lazy. So you either going to lean into social media, or you're going to take it way back old school and you're going to be out here in these streets. You're going to be at these vendors events. You're going to be going to conferences. You're going to have your vendors table set up. Them the only two ways. Those are the only two ways that you are going to make a name for yourself. Okay? You're going to either have to get up off your butt, and you're going to have to go and show up at these places and let people know you exist, or you're going to lean into social media. Well, Ren, I don't know the first thing about social media. I don't know how to make content. I don't know how to... Let me tell you, we are not here to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes we here to keep it spinning. So you want to know how you get better at social media? Y'all scrolling social media anyways. You doom scrolling. You scrolling, you in everybody business. You know, you watching everybody 50 part story. You know all the drama with everybody that's going on, but you won't use your phone to see how to make some content. You'll say in a minute, well, I don't know how to make no content, but won't look up a video on how to make content. Won't look up a video on how to record a faceless video or anything like that, but you will look at it to key and be in everybody's business all day. How does that make sense? You're not using your phone the right way. You want to learn how to market your book? You don't know how to market your book on social media? Maybe you need to get on TikTok and look up authors, book marketing, and look at some of the videos that are doing well, and then you mimic that and you just add your own sauce to it. There's no excuses. Okay, I know I'm giving y'all a little tough love, but the thing that I get in my DMs all the time is, Ren, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? This how I did it. This how I did it. I didn't wave a magic wand. This is how I did it. I took it serious. I treated it like a business. When people told me to do something, I took action. I wasn't a procrastinator. Okay? The third thing to the clarity phase. So we talked about knowing your audience. We talked about knowing your message so you can market the message to your book buyer. The third thing is relevancy. Okay, somebody type in relevancy and y'all tap that screen. Okay, y'all tap that screen. We got 17 people in here. We could easily be at 20K likes. Y'all tap that screen and come in here and get y'all daily heartbeats. All right, come in here and get y'all daily heartbeats. Continue to tap that screen. Share this live out. Okay. Yes, relevancy. Okay. The third step in the clarity phase is relevancy. Being able to tie your book to something that's relevant. So it'll make your potential book buyer want to buy it now. Okay. Add it to cart and check out now. Oh, I seen this book on the shelf. I need to go check this book out now. Okay. Let's just say we have Black History Month and we have Valentine's Day coming up. If you got a romance book, baby, that's relevant. That's relevant. If you write a book about Black love or anything like that, yo, those things are very relevant. If you are a Black author, those things are very relevant right now, okay? Tie your book into what is relevant, current, in the moment. You need this right now because of this. So if you know your audience, you know your message, and you can tie it back into something relevant, you will always get book sales. You will always have book buyers. Okay? Those are the things that you need to be focused on, and those are the things that are going to carry you throughout this journey. Thank you, Kimani. I appreciate you so much, love. Okay? So listen, if you are a mama, a daddy, a creative and aspiring author who has been sitting on book ideas for years, I hope this is helping you. This is the year to stop sitting on that book idea. This is the year, this is the time to go ahead and push forward, because you never know what your book is going to do for you. Okay? You out here, your book is literally your legacy. Your book is impact. You are literally sitting on your legacy. You are literally sitting on impact. Some of you all be like, oh, I just want to leave my mark. I just want to help people. Write the book. Tell your story. That's how you can help people. And let me tell you, from a product standpoint, I don't hear people talk about it enough. A book is one of few products that you can create at one time, and it can bring you endless opportunities forever and ever and ever. It's low maintenance. It's one of the few products that requires no maintenance if you create it right the first time. Any other thing that you invest in, that you pour your dollars into, more than likely is going to require maintenance. If you do Turo, so you got cars that you renting out, that's still maintenance. You got to clean that car out every time somebody rent it. You got to make sure it's gas in it. You got to make sure you keep it tuned up. You got to make sure all those things, that's maintenance, that costs money. You doing Airbnbs, you got to make sure that those Airbnbs are compliant. You got to make sure the sheets is clean. You got to do all of that, right? That's maintenance. A book is one of the very few products, once you create it and you put it out there and you do it well, you never have to do maintenance on it again. But it will continue to impact your life and others' lives over and over and over and over. All right? I know some of y'all are stuck. You might be scared. You feeling overwhelmed. But understand that you can do this. All right? How do I know? Because I've done it. All right? I've done it. And you know, another thing that y'all doing, a lot of y'all are waiting for it to be perfect. You can perfect it as you pursue it. A lot of y'all waiting to be perfect, right? Thank you, Kimani. You can perfect it as you pursue it. Oh, listen, I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer. When they say you know better, you do better. Y'all don't have no excuses. For y'all that are like, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. You found me. You shouldn't be stuck anymore. What you should have already done is hit that follow button, and you should have already made up in your mind, I'm gonna watch every video that this woman has. And if you are somebody who's a hands-on learner, then you should be like, okay, I'm gonna be looking into how can I work with her. Let me look up her services. Let me look up her payment plans. Let me see, you know, I have something for everybody. You should not have no excuses. Okay? You should have no excuses. Y'all been sitting on y'all book for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Not after today, y'all. We're not sleeping on those book ideas no more, okay? Not after today, okay? You scared you gonna mess it up. Look, then this live is for you, okay? You scared you gonna waste money. You scared you gonna waste time. A lot of new authors fail because it's not because you're not talented. It's not because you're not talented. It's not because you don't have a good story to tell. It's because you don't have the right information and you don't have support. I can't tell you how many of my clients came to me before they found me and they were like, you know what? I'm so glad I came across your live because I've been having this book idea for years, but I never had the right support. You know, I tried to tell my mom, I tried to tell my friends and they laughed at me, or I was too scared to tell them because, you know, they don't think outside the box, so forth and so on. Sometimes it's about being around the right people so that you can get it done. Hi, Blessing. How are you? Scared no one will want to hear my story. There's 8 billion people in this world. Somebody want to read it. Somebody wants to read it. There are literally 8 billion people in this world. Somebody wants to read your book. I'm going to tell you, you want to know why I know somebody want to read your book? And why I can be so confident that when somebody want to read your book? Because a woman got on this app and told a 50-part story, 10 minutes long, each part, about not knowing who she married. If people will watch that video, they'll want to read your book. There are people out here literally who work as professional huggers. I'm not lying. Y'all can look it up. It's a thing now. Somebody want to read your story. If somebody can turn giving people hugs and cuddles into a business and making money, surely somebody wants to read your book. Surely. Okay? You never know. Like, you never know. Thank you for the inspiration. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Let me see some of my notes that I wrote some of my notes down here, y'all, because I want to make sure that I'm giving y'all everything that y'all need, okay?